Sony asked me if I wanted to do it, and I read the new material and said yes.
When I first heard that they were doing a new version of Ice Castles, I was ecstatic.
I am so honored that our little classic movie is worthy of a remake. It's really quite a compliment.
But this is a different movie, a different experience, a different production structure. Everything about it is different. The dynamic of the characters is different. Like the father and the Colleen Dewhurst character were not in this script. And so it fell upon the love story to be the driving element in the movie.
It was kind of exciting. You and me, famous Red Wing star, and world, hey, Olympic champion figure skater. Think fast!
Heck?
No! Oh my God, you are dead! You are dead!
The casting director was looking at skaters as possible doubles.
We found a spam email asking me to try out for Ice Castles, and I was totally pumped. I had never done any kind of acting before. And so I sent an audition tape, and I got a call back, sent another audition tape, and then went to Toronto for an on-ice audition.
There were two parts to it. One was her skating, and the other was her ability to communicate emotionally. She indicated enough emotional capacity for both being herself but being in the role that convinced me.
And I got a call saying that I got the part.
The result is actually much better in combination than it would have been trying to make the division between actor and skater.
It's encouraging not to be the only one who has never acted before. It's also a lot of pressure because she's doing really well with it, like her the first time. So I feel like I need to jump right in and be able to do everything right away.
I had a few lessons with an acting instructor. I'm very new to all this, so I really don't know what specifically it's called, but that was pretty much the extent of my acting training.
Whatever she gave me, I tried to respond to, and whatever I would give her, she would respond to, which made it fun and made it organic.
Rob is a sweetheart. He is the brother that I've always wanted.
To be able to work with Taylor, she, just like Donald, is such a good listener that when we're working on the scenes together, we just made it real for ourselves. The only thing that Donald said to me in terms of my character was that this time around, they wanted to have a bit more anger and that sort of thing, which I think works. And in the end, I just kind of internalized the original and then just went with it.
It's very natural for him. And the fact that he also skates is another example of the synergy between being able to do something and fulfilling the role. In Rob's case, his skating is hockey, and he's a pretty good skater. We threw him in with a bunch of very big, fast skaters, and he did very, very well.
Get your man! Get your man!
One of the major benefits to this particular film was the choreography done by Sandra Bezic and David Wilson.
Who would have thought that when I was 12 years old, being mesmerized by this film and touched by it, that I'm now sitting in a position of working hand in hand with the creator of that film.
David is a very well-known choreographer who did the choreography for last year's world champion.
My choreographer, when I was skating, happened to choreograph the original movie. So I was completely charmed to be asked to be involved.
When I first heard about who's doing the choreography for the remake, Sandra Bezic, I thought, oh man, that's going to be fantastic. Of course, I watched her compete as I was growing up. Her and her brother were fantastic pair skaters. So Taylor's in good hands with Sandra Bezic, that's for sure.
David and I collaborated, and when you collaborate like that, it's just a natural flow.
We never get enough rehearsal time. I don't think there's a choreographer in the world that would say, oh yeah, we had enough rehearsal time. But so far in this shoot, the universe has been conspiring in our favor. and we've had enough time to make it work.
The fact that we weren't doubling, that we are using real skaters, and that the performance matters is so important to us.
Sandra and David were able to take the emotional conflicts, the emotional issues of the character, and translate that into choreography.
Skating has evolved exponentially. I mean, what the champions are doing today was virtually unheard of 30 years ago.
You know, for the competitive numbers, we try to make them look competitive worthy, but of course they're not skating out fully to rules with all of the elements because the sequences are not going to be that long. So it's to create that sense of reality for the audience.
One of the hardest aspects of competitive skating is the cardiovascular aspect. And so you train so hard to be able to have the strength at the end of the program to still pop off the jumps and still have the perfect timing. And that takes years to perfect that. Well, because we're filming, we were able to maybe put a little bit more impact, a little bit more athleticism into a program because of the way it was shot.
In competition, it's more pressure because you have to do it in like 2 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever, short program, long program. You have to do it that one time and then you're done. But in a movie, you get more than one take.
Originally, when I was younger, I was like, how can she skate when she's blind? It's so hard to just learn.
The blind aspect, we really pay more attention to that with her entrance onto the surface and her exit off.
Going in the wrong direction, like you have no idea where you're going, but in all actuality, you can see. I mean, it's easy enough to trip, but to make it look realistic is pretty hard.
Most skating is shot off the ice. It's shot from positions adjacent to the ice, but not on the ice. And we construct sleds and booms that allow shooting on the ice or in proximity to the skater, giving the audience an experience that normally they wouldn't have.
My favorite scenes in this story are the times when Taylor skates. They are scenes beyond words.
My favorite scene is when I'm skating on the pond and the national scene at the very end. It was breathtaking. It was beautiful, the scenery that we had. I don't think there's anything better.
Working with Donald, it's like...
It was dreary.
No, it's magic, I tell you. I felt like putty in your hands, like you could mold me and make me do anything. It was just such a ball. Yes.
He is very, very calm. He never loses his temper. I mean, and things happen all the time, you know. I mean, not everything's going to be perfect, but he's always cool, calm, collected. You know, if one of the actors needs direction, you know, he'll pull you aside and he'll quietly suggest, you know, whichever way he wants you to go.
And he really takes the time and the effort to really sit down with me and explain to me exactly what he's looking for.
The path that I take is basically allowing them not to feel that they have to do something they're incapable of doing. You don't come up to them and say, boy, we got a really tough scene. My God, you should really be worried.
You try to create an environment, and you also, this is in terms of working with the material, that you alter the material, you conform the material, you integrate the material with who they are and what they're comfortable with.
The nice thing about Donald is that he's such a good listener, you know, so anything that I had, you know, whether there were concerns or, you know, just my excitement or whatever feedback I had, he was really receptive to hearing that.
Donald will shoot till he gets it. I remember one scene we, you know, when every time you change the camera angle, you give it a new letter. Well, We ran out of alphabet. Instead of doing capital letters, we had to go to a small a. So Donald did about 30 angles on one scene.
He knows what is valuable to the story, germane to the story. Even if it's off the beaten track of the script, he will allow, because he knows it so well, he will allow movements from the path that will eventually lead back to the path, and yet give us a little wider perspective of what the elements are.
One of the interesting things about Lynn and Taylor is that they knew everybody else's lines. Even when the actors didn't know their lines, the skater knew their lines.
In terms of this particular project and working with Taylor and working with Donald in particular, I would leave set pretty much every day and go home and I'd feel fulfilled.
It's all been absolutely insane.
I'm with Lexi Winston, who can barely contain her excitement. First major competition. So doing this well, do you have goals now? Have your goals changed?
Like the first acting thing you've ever done in your life. Getting script changes, crazy hair and makeup changes right here, right now. You know, 1 minute you look like this, 1 minute you look blind. So it's like up and down and up and down.
It's not about winning or losing. It's about loving the sport. I mean, as you can see, she's skating in a pond just for herself. It's not about glory, it's not about medals, it's not about applause. It's about just loving skating.
Everything has been amazing. Everyone on set and crew and cast, everyone has been amazing. I couldn't have asked for a better experience.